Welcome to the Truth Podcast. I'm your host, Hany Rambod, and I'm here with two very special guests. One a little more special than the other. I got Andrew Jacked in the house with his super trainer. Okay. Psycho Fitness, Chris Psycho Fitness. Chris and I go way back, way back. And guys, because of the microphone, I would definitely try to bring it up. And then as we're going back and forth, we are using the temp. I shouldn't say temp. We are literally just pulling all the equipment out of the boxes here. And it's the Texas Pro. Andrew has just came in a couple days ago. He's going back for the title. He's been so gracious. I'll be honest with you. A lot of guys wouldn't come and do this. And I want to say thank you so much to come over here and shoot this literally 2 days before the show. You have so much going on. They're carbon up. They're drying out. They're doing all of the things that they need to do to work their magic to try to win the show again. Because I remember, first of all, I want to say welcome back to Texas.
Thank you.
Yeah. So how are you feeling, brother?
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, why don't you bring the microphone just closer to you, and then if you guys can go back and forth. Again, we're sharing a mic because of the fact that we're still pulling everything out of the boxes. But
I feel awesome. I feel good. I feel good.
Yeah, just come a little closer. If you can move over just a little bit that way.
Yeah, like
perfect. Yeah, there you go.
Right, cool.
Yeah. So right now, it's 105 degrees outside, and you came in. I guess did you guys come in from LA?
We came in from LA on Tuesday, 15th.
Okay.
Yeah, and we just stayed over there in Arlington.
Okay.
Just some minutes away from the convention center.
Right.
And we've just been focusing on getting the job done.
Okay.
And especially this last process, and when I got the call from Freddie and you that we have to do the podcast, I'm like,
well, you didn't have to. We just said, hey, we requested it.
No, there are some people that are very close to you that you just can't say no. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it, brother.
I'm like, well, because I don't like doing interviews or podcasts. I've got a little bit. I've got so many, but when my mind isn't interested in something, I don't get myself involved in it. But when there are some that you just can't, you just have to honor them. So.
No, I appreciate it. And like I said, I know how hard it is. As a coach myself, I know how hard it is the last couple of days. So I really, guys, this is super special for him to be able to come in a couple of days before the show and do this. So, and we're not going to get super deep into a lot of the past. At some point, I'd love to. But right now, what I want to know is, since the Olympia last year, there's been some changes. When did you guys start working together?
I think we started on the Arnold prep.
Okay.
That was
7 weeks out before the Arnold prep.
7 weeks out?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Only 7 weeks out.
Yeah, we spoke on the phone 6th of, we spoke on the phone, I think on the 6th of January.
Okay.
And 11th of January, I flew over.
Okay.
And then we started. That's after, we've talked already, introduction, and then put things together. And they're like, well, if you're serious about this, you just have to. We don't have any time, man. I'm like, yeah, and I just flew in.
Right. And so basically, Chris, you're doing the training, and then the other Chris, the CETO, is doing the nutrition and the contest prep. I mean, basically the back end portion of it.
Right. So Andrew moved in with me 6 weeks before the Arnold prep.
Yeah.
And then when I got the call, I called Chris and I said, hey, what do you think about Andrew Jacked? He said, oh, I love him. What's going on? I said, I might need you to help me get this guy ready for the Arnold.
Right.
He goes, hey, send over pictures. And he was excited. But I wanted to see what Andrew's mind was like, to see why hadn't he come to his full potential.
Okay.
So I said, hey, Andrew, I'm going to need you to move in with me. And he's very, very gracious. And he said, no, I don't want to burden you. I don't want to put you out. I said, no, I'm attaching my name to you. And I need to see what's going on. I don't know what's going on, if he's doing this, if he's doing that. I need to see where his mindset was. So he moved in with me, small little corrections. His mind was right. The most dangerous thing about Andrew, his mindset. When he flew over, he was ready to work.
Right.
Ready to work, ready to get busy.
Because and tell me if I'm wrong, Chris, when you started working with him, before that, Andrew was working with George, correct?
Yeah, I was Actually, it was like the way I do my thing. Yeah, I figured because all along I was just an influencer. I put it like that, just a regular like
You're
fitness guy.
big ass
Talking sports,
influencer, bro.
yeah. Yeah, I just love, and I've been like I've never had a coach or trainer or whatever anything. Yes,
In Dubai. So when you were
Yeah.
there, and I want to know about this
Yeah.
at Bino's gym, did you really consider yourself an influencer and not a bodybuilder?
I will say I just consider myself an influencer now with the name because I figured that's what influencers do. But back then I was just a regular like fitness guy because I was working instead of just going to the gym and having started off with Larry. I just had a parking lot. We just say hi to each other and we just
Larry
started,
Wheels.
yeah.
Okay.
And even when we were like training and everything, he wanted to, like tag me on videos and everything. And then he couldn't find who I was. And I told him my name and he's like, I can't find you anywhere. And I told him that's because I'm not on
Social media. And when was this?
And he's like, you serious? I'm like, yeah.
How many years ago was this?
2019.
2019.
Yeah, so finally, I think October 29th, he broke the deadlock. He opened one for me and everything, and that's how I started. So
That's crazy.
yeah,
That's crazy.
But it's a full-time job, honestly. Honestly, a full-time job. But at the end of the day, I think he put me on the map, and I got some feedback from so many people, and I decided to compete, and that was when I didn't want it to just go out there and just because people were saying, oh, like you can beat the pros on this, but yeah, like physically, yeah, but the mindset wasn't there.
Right.
We're talking about the knowledge, the experience. I needed like something like a grassroots, like something. So I decided to work with a friend of mine in Dubai just to get the basics.
Okay.
When I had for the basic, I figured, okay, I'll just go do the Arnold amateur because I always set my sight on doing bigger challenges or something. People were saying, how about you just go over to like maybe like Malta or Greece or maybe like somewhere small and go get a pro card. I'm like, if it's not big, I'm not doing it.
Right.
So I wanted to do the Arnold back in COVID, but they canceled it and then they put it back on, but I couldn't fly because it was just 2 days. So I wanted to do the Australia one, and it got canceled again. And I'm like, okay, so I think it just fate, because last year I decided to do the Arnolds again, and it was successful.
Yeah.
So that was when Flex Wheeler like hit me up, and he's like, like we have some. He just said some compliments about me, and I told him, yeah, everyone knows you. Like, and he's like, we can work together. I'm like, okay, cool. So the same thing. We spoke, I think, in November.
Okay.
No, we spoke in October, and November I flew over to Vegas.
Uh-huh.
And then, just saw the basics of training and everything. But when I went back home to regroup and came back in January, he got sick and everything. So, like, basically last year was just, I would say just I did everything again, just by myself. But I like having a yin-yang, that's, I don't believe in, because I was still a novice. I had no idea, and I needed like a team. I needed like a yin yang to help me out. And I told Flex, okay, whom do you feel comfortable at working with? Get a person, then we can work together. And he told me about he works with George. I'm like, I don't know who George is, but if he feel he's good, yeah, bring him in.
Sure.
Yeah. So we started to work together, but George was doing the nutrition part, and the other part, what Flex was doing the training, but at the same time, due to his circumstance, he was always in the hospital, like from one surgery to another. So I was still, we had like a couple of days, like a few days,
Right.
but just to train and pose and do things together. I was grateful. It was good, but I was a fast like learner, and most of the like my routines, my poses, I was always. I was the mastermind of everything. So I had corrections from Flex. When we're doing the Texas tour, the same thing happened. He couldn't even fly over there because he just got released from hospital. I think the day before we flew out there, which was like 3 days before the show. So it was a good run. Like last year, it was a good run. But I think I wasn't in the bodybuilding. I wasn't a bodybuilder last year. I'll put it like that. I was still building the mindset.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was still doing everything that I was doing. I was still training myself, doing my preferences, of which I knew I have to be out of my comfort zone in order to achieve this. And that was when, after the Olympia, I said to myself, no, I have to get my shit together and get it right.
Right.
That was when I spoke to Stan, and I got his contact, hit him up, and
Mhm.
we spoke, and I'm like, I want to do the Arnold, and I want to see
How you can go out there
how
and
I
do
can go with
against,
this, yeah.
and
And
build off the momentum.
exactly. So, and I told him the same thing. I told him, I'm a team worker. If you've got someone you're comfortable with,
Mhm.
put them on board, as long as you're comfortable with the person.
Right.
Because what I believe is the only thing I know I needed, it's a trainer. Because I built myself by myself. So
Mhm.
I think I can cross a certain peak. So I needed something that can take me across that. And I told him, any coach can coach me, but what I needed, like 90% is just a trainer. And
Do you feel like
so-
that's because of the fact that you would just push yourself harder because of somebody being there?
No, I think it's a mental thing because I figured, because I mean, for over 30 something years, I built this by myself with nothing. So
Right.
and I know myself, like when I train and stuff, I know I can maintain, but I don't need to maintain. I need to improve better, more.
Right.
And I needed something, like a catalyst to help me do that. And
But do you think that it was a lot of it also is somebody being able to kind of find that more on the technique side, or more of the mental drive to get to go harder, more sets, more reps, heavier weight, pushing harder? Or do you feel like it's a combination of both?
it's a combination of both. I would say everything. I would say everything because I was doing all that and all that I was doing. I was impacting my own knowledge on myself, but I think I'm used to what I was doing. I needed something to shock the system, something like different, because now bodybuilding is different entirely. It's
Yes.
not the fitness thing.
Right,
So I needed someone who has experience in bodybuilding.
right.
So I would say I started to be a bodybuilder this year during the prep for the Arnold.
Well, you're
Because
doing pretty good for your first year as a bodybuilder.
because everything changed.
Yeah.
The concept, the training,
Yeah.
the comfort zone, the like even the preference, everything was just like spinning me around, So I was doing the opposite of what I was doing, and that was why changes happened.
What do you think that was the biggest change when you say opposite? What exactly?
I would say hitting the nail on the head.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, not just swinging the bat, not just swinging the hammer.
So you feel like it's been a huge benefit.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's been big. It's been good. And I knew that I have the mindset. So what I just needed was just that push, that drive, that catalyst, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, Chris, with you now working with Aceto, do you feel like, I know that, well, my system, I do obviously both. Is it hard for you as a trainer to have to also try to work with someone else versus, doing prep or doing that? Because I know that in the past you would do both, right? You were helping people on the training side, but you'd also do nutrition, you'd do all that. How is that as a trainer? Because, looking at this both ways from this side of the table, I know it's got to be somewhat different than when you used to do both. How is that now to you?
Well, not really with Aceto, because Aceto is mostly just like, this is what you do,
Uh-huh.
and he refers to me. And 9 times out of 10, when we have to make a decision, it's always the exact same decision.
Okay.
So I trust him that we're on the same page, and we speak with someone like Andrew this close to the show. We may speak 2 to 3 times a day. We send pictures, then we may send more pictures, and then we come together. It's like a doctor with his other associates. They get together, okay, what's the next plan? Let's move that way. So I work really well with Aceto because he doesn't have an ego, and he trusts me, and I trust him. And we both want this guy to do his best.
Okay.
Not us do our best.
Right.
Him to do his best, and there's no ego there. So that's why I picked Tecitos that, okay, because I work well with him.
Yeah, yeah.
But we've indirectly worked together before with like 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Or training partners, stuff like that. So it's kind of
Right.
like, it was kind of like that. And if you needed to insert, hey, we need more of this and more of that.
Right.
Boom, it's just done. And
Right.
so that's why I like working with people like that, where it's not a
Yeah, you got to be able to do that.
Right.
And it's a very mature thought process.
Right.
And a lot of people don't understand that you got to be able to have a mutual respect factor.
Exactly.
One can't turn around and try to, be the one that has the big ego, as you mentioned, and then ends up trying to bulldoze the entire program and then turn around and point fingers, because that's what tends to happen in bodybuilding. It's a lot of finger pointing,
Exactly.
right? People,
when things go bad, it's like a finger pointing.
Yeah.
When things go good,
It's
it
like-
was all me.
that's it. So that's always tough, because you gotta try to balance that out
Right,
in a
right.
very imbalanced
Yeah, it's
sport
hard, yeah.
in the sport of bodybuilding. It's very, very imbalanced. And as many of you that say it's not a sport, it's a sport. So it's one of those things. And I think that now that you guys are trying to catch each other in terms of like catch your stride, where do you feel you're at versus like the Arnold versus right now with 2 days left at the show? I know Chris isn't here, Cito, but with you being able to see that, do you feel like the things that you were trying to target for the improvements are being made?
Well, what I like about Andrew, like he never says, the most thing I like, he's coachable.
Uh-huh.
He's coachable. If something doesn't feel right, he'll say, I don't like this.
Sure.
I don't like this. I don't like this because it's not connecting with me, not because it hurts or it's uncomfortable. He'll do anything uncomfortable. In fact, I have to stop him sometimes. I have to pull him back because now we're getting in the point where we're just moving weight and not bodybuilding.
Right.
So that's on that side with him. So what we do and what our thing is, we don't try to beat anybody except his best look. So we're all on the same page that we must beat his best look. So we take which one to date was his Arnold. Some people say that's his best look. And what we want to do, look at it, dissect it, and we come up with a plan to beat that guy. Because that's the only guy we really can truly beat, is that guy. We have to beat him. And the same thing, as we get better and better, judges like that. They like the involvement of bodybuilding, the progression of bodybuilding. They want to see
Improvements.
you beat yourself. That's what they want to see.
They want to see improvements,
So
yeah.
once I try to say, we're going to beat this guy, but the judges say, well, you beat him because he was off, but you didn't beat yourself.
Right.
Now it's in the hands of the judges.
Right.
So we're on the same page that Andrew must beat Andrew, not only every show, but every day. Every day he has to beat himself. So I don't look at things as the victory as the show. Every day is a victory. If he did all his cardio, got all his meals on time, he slept, boom, 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 that adds up to a victory.
So what do you think was the biggest thing that you wanted to focus on in terms of improvement between the Arnold and the Texas Pro?
What I want to do, like I said before, he wasn't a bodybuilder before. He was a guy, he was a lifter, he was powerlifting, he does MMA, he does all these facets of fitness that he done. So everything you see was an accident. So what if this guy really tried to be a bodybuilder? What would happen? So now this is the involvement of what we're doing. So what I wanted to do was the back. The erectors were huge, they were preferred, which made the upper back look shallow. Okay, arms are great, but we need more outer head.
Yep.
Hamstring glute tie-in, which most amateurs really fight to get that hamstring glute tie-in really nice and crispy and sharp. Sometimes don't even get that till a few years after being pro.
Yeah.
All the pros that have it. So to teach him that the shows are won from the back and they're won by beating yourself. So those are the improvements that we wanted to work on. Upper back, he's on his way to having one of the best backs in the industry, on his way. Not saying it's there. And I really want to make the concept of Ronnie Coleman and Flex Wheeler had a baby. This would be the child. That's what I have in my mind. That's what I want to build. And I think we're on that. Those are the two people that he admired. Ronnie Coleman's size, Flex Wheeler symmetry, and that's what I'm trying to do. Size comes along with that, but size is not our
The main
goal.
focus. It's
No,
not the main
at all.
focus, right.
Because a guy can be huge and have this, that, and I want Andrew to say, you look at him and go, I want to look like that. I
Sure.
don't want you to say, I want his arms, or I want his chest, or I want his legs. I want you to say, I want to look like that guy.
Right.
Everything. So that's what we're trying to do. And
No.
I think we took another step toward that.
So what are we going to see, Andrew? Back to you. Do you feel confident with the package that you're putting together for this week? Is it something where you feel like the things that you mentally were looking at trying to improve upon, the back, some of the spots that, the outer tricep, those types of areas, do you feel that you've made, is it where you want to be?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like the every day, like, I tell people that I'm my own biggest critic. So no matter what you say about me, I don't even listen. I don't even read comments or comment on them. I'm my own critic. And when I'm in the gym, like, he knows me, my phone is always in my bag. Like, he so many times take like shots of video, like sometimes I send to me. Like, my phone is always in my bag. My bag is far off there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm more focused and interested in the training, not on the package, on the training. And when it's time to dial in, I see myself every day, like, these last few days, every day is changing and changing and changing. So, but I'm still not focused on that. My focus on if I see that my focus on the improved package is when I'm backstage with my competitors.
Okay.
That's when.
So you're
it's always
looking
on
at
show
them?
day, yeah.
That's when you're looking at them, kind of sizing them up?
It's always on show day. On show day, backstage is when, and now that's when I will be impressed with my package. But I'm always impressed, and I'm always focused on the processes of getting there. In the gym, while training, while prepping, I'm focused on the training. I'm impressed with the training. During the dialing, learn that process, I'm focused and happy with the process, not with the package, with the process.
Right.
Backstage is when I'm now.
Well, it's actually
with
the
the
right way to
package.
think about it. I really agree. Because many people will start the comparisons way too soon.
Yeah.
The comparisons are when you're backstage, right? When you're starting to pump up,
Yeah.
you look at each other, kind of look it up and down. You're like, okay, man, your glutes are soft. And you look over there and you're like, yeah, man, your arms are looking small. And then you turn around and you're like pumping up and you're like, okay, I'm going to take this guy. Oh, this guy's in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
Him and I are going to be the first
Yeah.
call out. And the way that helps tremendously is that you can't control anybody else in bodybuilding. You can only control yourself. And with that being said, the mindset of daily improvement with training, with nutrition, with cardio, with crossing your T, dotting your I's, is what's going to get you that better package on stage. But if you're constantly trying to terrorize yourself by saying somebody in some magic light looks great, it's just, people do it all the time. My guys do it, right? Like, they'll sit there and people want affirmation from people on 3 months from the show, 2 months from the show. And there's going to be guys that are going to look like Mr. Olympia. I used to joke about it with Dennis James. I said Dennis James was the Mr. Olympia of magazines and of the internet, right?
Yeah.
And this wasn't a knock on Dennis. It just, he looked amazing in those shots, more 3D than anybody, crazy full and everything else. But then when he got on stage, it didn't look right. So what's the point of winning the Instagram round?
Yep.
Right. So that's the thing. But I think that's exactly the right process of getting as far as possible in the sport, is to do what you're doing, which is looking at the daily, going through the daily battle of, was I able to improve? Was I able to get a couple more reps? Was I able to go a little heavier?
Yeah, exactly.
That's huge. And now that you're here, how often do you go back to Dubai and train at Bino's gym?
Only go back home when the job here is done, when the mission is completed. The mission is completed, there's nothing to do. I go back home, I regroup. Like Benos is my home for training and everything because of it's where I started. But at the same time, I still try to, not be there every time of the day, because sometimes you lose that
Intensity, right?
That interest and that
Yeah.
vibe, because too many people.
Right.
Because sometimes I just, go someplace else where no one knows me.
Mm-hmm.
Focus, do the major thing I have to do. And
Right.
when it's time to just come have fun, yeah. So
I think it's a
like kind of
balance,
split.
right?
Yeah, it's a balance, yeah.
Yeah, because Beano's Gym, for those of you to know that Beano's Gym is kind of like the mecca of the Middle East, like right there. You know, you have Oxygen Gym in Kuwait, then you have the Beano's Gym in Dubai, and Dubai
yeah.
is like the Las Vegas of the Middle East now.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody goes there. They love that gym. You see a lot of athletes that train that gym. You have Andre who trains at the gym
Yeah, of
there.
course,
Then
yeah.
you have Muhammad Fuda,
Yeah.
you know, training at the
Those
gym.
are my brothers.
Those guys,
Those are
man.
my brothers.
And Beano's is a very, very popular gym, but everybody asks me, they're like, hey, what do you think? And I said, any popular gym, even when you're at Gold's in Venice, and what it is that you can get motivated if you're there for a short period of time.
Yeah.
But for a short period of time.
Yeah.
So that means that if you're flying in, it's great to go in there. You see a lot of celebrities in our industry, influencers, top athletes. But I think that when you're in that circle for too much time, it feels like it almost dulls you.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
Chris, do you feel the same way? Like from the situation?
100%.
Yeah.
And then when he comes back over, I can tell his mindset is here.
Yeah.
Like, we don't talk. I don't even know it's in it. We don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
There's nothing to talk about. 5 more, 2 more over here. Like, that's all we do because I want to keep what you're saying, the monotonous and like that. I don't want to ever break that.
Right.
Like, I'll talk to you,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to talk to him. You know, and I want to keep that.
That's okay. And you can talk to me, bro. If you want to talk about like outside.
No, like
wanna talk about the heat in Texas?
It's exactly what I wanted. It's because I don't
Yeah.
like mixing intimacy and business. No.
Right.
Even on the phone when we had a call, I told him that what I need is a drill sergeant.
Uh-huh.
I'm not coming for brotherly stuff. No, like because it
I
pulls
see.
it pulls.
Because you're trying to figure out to
exactly.
fill that gap
Yeah.
that you really need.
Yeah,
Which is,
because-
I really need, like you said, drill sergeant's a great analogy.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was exactly what I told him.
Did your family come from the military at all or anything like that?
No, I served. I did 2 years in the Navy. So yeah. So
In which country?
in Nigeria. Yeah.
Nigerian
Yeah,
Navy.
so, yeah,
Wow.
So
So you
it's
have
a-
that in that I can tell
Yeah.
by what the analogy you use as drill sergeant. You want to be told what to do at that point, and that's the focus that you need.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So it's
That's
strictly,
awesome.
it's strictly like business because I can't fly. I can't, leave my comfort zone,
Mm-hmm.
fly over here for 16 hours, and I'm just here for a couple of weeks and just have fun. No.
Right.
I'm here for business. So
To get the
just
job done.
Get the job done, and after that, I can go back and do whatever I want to do.
How big is your family now? How many do you have? You have several kids, don't you?
No.
Oh, I thought you had a couple of kids. No.
No, I don't have kids.
Oh, okay. Maybe that was the wrong one.
But
Chris, you got kids.
No,
Yeah, I
but,
do.
but
That was me, bro.
our family is so large that
need
taking
kids.
care of them is just like already you have kids. You know what I mean? So,
When you say that, is it because you have brothers and sisters?
yeah, a lot.
How
a
many
lot.
brothers and sisters do you have?
We're 7.
7.
Yeah, and I've got like cousins and whatever. So
And are they back in Nigeria?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so many, and some of my uncles are late and aunties, so of course you have a whole lot on your head.
Yeah.
And it's a tradition there. Like if God chooses or blesses you, you have to, because He's using you as an instrument to
Yes.
be a blessing. And if you don't do that, He will take it away from you and give to someone else. So I don't want that to happen.
So you help take care of the family.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I do the best I can. I try
Yeah.
to do the best I can, which is it's mandatory.
Yeah.
It's a tradition. So yeah. So
Wow. Yeah, that's very strong. A lot of cultures do that, and I think you even see a lot of cultures that spend time in the home together
Yeah.
and they live together. The money all goes into one and the family uses it for what's most important for the family, not what's important for that particular person. But if somebody is trying to break out and do something, the money is then moved to that person to invest into their future because that person's future then ends up helping the rest of the family because when that person becomes successful. And I think it's a very, very strong commitment to family.
Yeah, of
And I think that this world is starting to get away from family. I think they're getting away from God, and I think that that's a mistake. I think it's a major mistake. But that's just me on my,
no, it's
up
true.
on my box.
It's
you know,
true.
right
It's
now.
true. I think like the Asian culture, the Middle Eastern culture, the African culture is the same. Like It's we have something in common, which is the same thing. But the Europeans and Western world, I think they're falling off from there, which is
I think you know what it is.
quite
I think
unfortunate. But I think not all, like majority, which is it's not a good thing.
I agree. And I think that's one of the reasons why we liked it here in Texas, because of the Southern hospitality. It's very similar to a lot of the cultural things that we were close to, where my family from Iran were very close to, where it was about community. And we're in a small town here outside of Dallas, where the community is very close together. So we feel that. And I feel that a lot of people that have that sense of community, when they had it from the Middle East, or they had it from Asia, or from Africa, they want to kind of go back to that, because the modern Western society is trying to break up the family unit.
Yep.
And I think that with that being said, it really just makes you feel like you're not a part of anything anymore. And I feel that that's why I really enjoy it being here versus where we were in the past in California, and especially in Silicon Valley. Everybody was so busy working. There was no sense of community. Everybody just were in their own little world. And now that we've been able to build a nice sense of community here and being a part of the community. But I think that with you guys hooking up, this is great, because I'd be able to see you guys being able to train, and you guys are working hard, and the improvements you're making. Right now, the big thing is this show, what's going to make it interesting is Hunter Labrada, right? And I want to talk about that because, again, when we have more time next time, I don't want to, because I know you got to do your next meal. And I want to be able to just talk about what this thing really, these two great athletes mean going up against each other, with Hunter now coming off of a great finish in Tampa. His body has changed tremendously. I think that a lot of it has to do with the fact that changing up his meal protocols, and I think eating most of his meals. And I think he's going to try to jump in tomorrow so we can talk. If he's going to make it, that's going to be great the day before the show. But I think what do you feel in regards to that? You've seen some of his photos, you've seen some of his videos. Is that something that have you guys noticed the same thing?
Yeah, I know the same thing, and Hunter has nothing to lose going into the show, because if he can push it, he could push it till he spills over. He can only win by doing the show, and that shows a lot of courage by getting a qualification and still going after the title.
Right.
So that's a lot of respect, and that's all to him. I like Hunter as a person.
Yeah, and I think that's saying a lot. I mean, how do you feel about it, Andrew? Do you feel that the same way?
Well, I feel is for me, honestly, shows are like a battle. Mm-hmm. Everyone is over there at the workshop, like working, like doing all they can to win, and be better. So yeah. Like I said, it's this show is more about Hunter, because it's he's son of the soil. He's a local, same like last year, Steve Kukla. But for me, I think they are fighting to beat me, and they know if they beat me, they will win the show. But what they don't understand is I'm also fighting to beat myself, which gives me a better edge and advantage. So it will be lots of gladiators in the arena dancing together. So whoever put on the best fight or dance wins. So that will be what will happen.
Yeah, I mean, this is honestly very epic. I am I haven't looked forward for a show this much in a long time, because you think the Texas Pro, it's not that big of a show. It's not that exciting, because it's like, you might have one really good competitor, and you have somebody who's coming off of, like you said, Chris, he came off of a win, and he still is going to represent. He could have just shut it down and said, I'm going to the Olympia, and I'm going to try to play safe. Right. He said, no, I want to be the king of Texas. Exactly. I want to come in here and do that. And Andrew said, no, I'm the king of Texas. I came out last year, and I took the trophy, and I'm going to do it again.
Well, to say what Andrew said another way, you're right. They're fighting Andrew, but that Andrew isn't going to show up.
Okay.
this new Andrew is going to show up.
Okay.
So they may beat the old Andrew,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we're not complacent. We moved on from that.
That's
Andrew.
right.
We looked, we high-fived, and we moved forward. We're not going to be him. We come with a new package. Like I said, everything has changed. The training has changed. We came in with a different look, and I totally believe that we have achieved that, not to take away from anybody else in the show. And I actually inboxed Hunter and said, hey, let's just put on a great show. Thumbs up. I sent him one of my T-shirts, because I want him to wear something.
Oh, I think I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
No, so this is not a grudge match,
Right.
but it's going to be extremely entertaining, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And when I touched down, I went straight to his gym, shook his hand, and took some pictures with him because I want him to know, hey, we appreciate what you're doing. And people like Hunter, he doesn't watch Hunter. He doesn't
Right.
watch anybody.
Right.
And he doesn't even look at himself. Like once I take the pictures, there's a mirror right there. He just walks away.
Yeah, because he's at the militaristic point of view.
Exactly.
You tell me what we need to change, and we'll make it. We'll make the changes.
That's where his mindset
That's
is.
it.
He's not flexing and looking at himself.
Right.
Because the victory is at the show. He doesn't get the little mini victories.
He doesn't need 'em.
No, he doesn't need them.
Right.
His mindset is right here, and he's all about the work.
Yeah.
So that old Andrew of
Yeah.
last year,
Yeah.
we don't know where that guy is. This is a new Andrew, and that's going to be their mistake. If they're trying to beat that Andrew, he doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
It's a new guy.
That's cool, man. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Is there a weight change?
Yes, there's a weight change.
So how much is it, lighter or heavier?
We pushed it a little bit heavier.
Okay.
To give the fans a different look. We listened to the judges.
Okay.
We listened to the.
What was that
I
feedback?
listened
Well,
to-
yeah. So what was the feedback?
Well, they wanted to see more fullness.
Okay.
So okay, no problem.
Okay.
No problem. I think before he never been in shape.
Okay.
So we showed him he can be in shape.
Okay.
So now we're going to bring this hardness with that fullness in a better package.
Okay.
We improved body parts. Not totally where we want to be because we're never going to be totally where we're.
You're never happy.
We're never going to refine it. We'll always refine the package, but the package will never be done. We're always going to be painting this painting until he says I'm done.
Sure.
So we coming in better, harder, fuller, different posing routine, more
Okay.
confidence. He has more confidence going in this show than he did any previous show, and that can be extremely dangerous. Because Andrew, although he doesn't have the everyday win of the click photos on Instagram, he knows when he's feeling good, and I can tell he's feeling good. I don't ask him; I can just tell why he feels good. He feels more comfortable, more relaxed, and that's dangerous.
Yeah,
I
that's
think because Hunter's dangerous too, because Hunter has nothing to lose.
right.
So I'm not saying
What do you think Hunter's going to do? What do you think him and Ben are going to do?
what I would do,
Mm-hmm.
because I went over and talked to those guys. What I would do, I would go for broke. I wouldn't play it safe. I'd push pull real hard, and I would not try to do anything for symmetry because you can't beat him in symmetry. You can't beat that. I would just try to be a monster. Let him be pretty, and I'll be a monster. Most people, what they do when this person is large, people try to, oh, I'm gonna get large. No, if you rap, you rap. If you sing, you sing. Don't try to change over and be something you're not. Don't reinvent the wheel. Take your best strengths and go from there. If you're pretty, go pretty. If you're big, go big. And that's what I would do. I would just try to bring a little meat freak to the stage and hit a lot of power shots and see where it landed. But I wouldn't try to be pretty. I wouldn't at all, because you can't do. He's trained to be.
Well, he's kind of pretty. Like, I mean, he does try to hit angles like his dad. He does try,
He
do
does,
that.
he
There is a
does,
combination effect to that.
But Andrew, like I said, is a flex wheeler, Ronnie Coleman baby. It's something. He was born with it. And like I said, everything you see right now is accidental. Now he has a purpose to his training. He's working towards something, and that's extremely dangerous. That's dangerous. When you get Chris Aceto and myself, I've been doing this for 37 years, and I've trained with the people I mentioned, and I saw their mistakes.
You told me you're
myself.
35, man. How did you do for 37 years?
I'm 36. I'm 36. This guy right here. So he has an intent what he's doing, and I think
Right.
that could be dangerous for him. But all it makes it for a great show for the IFBB.
Yeah,
It's
it
gonna
really-
be a
it-
fantastic show.
It really does. Tyler's head judging the show. I think he's already flown in from what I heard, and I'm definitely looking forward to it, man. I really appreciate your guys' time. And again, good luck at the show. I cannot wait to see it. I am going to be working with Freddie to do the play-by-play, so I'm looking forward to seeing this crazy physique on stage because honestly, I'm a huge fan. I love seeing your physique up there because you do have some different shots that most people don't have, and the way that you put it together. So God has blessed you, my friend.
Thanks a lot, sir.
And I feel, is there anything else that you wanted to be able to share right now?
No, I just want to say, like good luck to everyone competing, especially Carlos. Also, he's pro.
Yeah, well, actually, you know what? That's a good
debut.
point. I don't want to put him out. Carlos is someone you can't sleep on.
No,
you
man,
know,
he's a dark horse.
Carlos
No,
is definitely the dark horse of the race.
Yeah,
and
he's coming in hot. He's coming in hot because there's someone that him and his dad has been my huge fan before I even turned pro. I think that was after the COVID. I think in August 2020. That was when they started to be my friends. And he was in Dubai 2021. We did some trainings together. That was when I knew this guy he's a monster.
Yeah, he's got a lot of momentum coming into the show. So I really feel like he is the dark horse of this Texas Pro. And I'm hoping that maybe somebody else out there that we're not really mentioning right now because we haven't seen him pop up, there might be somebody else in there in that first call out that's going to be battling. And that's what's really great about bodybuilding. You just don't know who's behind the scenes that are just grinding away, that's going to come in with a package that somebody be like, holy shit, what happened here?
Yeah.
So yeah, Carlos, shout out to him and his pops. I met them a couple years ago as well. Dude, his dad is just like his biggest fan.
Exactly.
He's his biggest supporter.
Yeah.
Bless you for taking such great care of your son, because all I know is that it's just really goes unnoticed when you have people in your corner, and he's the guy that's sitting there with his son still, all the way from start to finish, supporting him.
Yeah, can you imagine your dad telling you 1 more, 2 more reps? That's dangerous right there.
Yeah.
Your dad right there telling you to go. But no, I met Carlos before, and the few times I was around him, he broke off, went right back to the room to sleep. And I said, well, this guy may be a problem in the future. But like I said, we just go against ourselves.
Yeah.
And not the names we didn't mention. Don't think that we respect everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
We're just trying to beat Andrew.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of really good competitors out there, but I am looking forward to it. So if you are in the area, you do not want to miss this. I know that there's some tickets left, and Battle Up Productions, Texas Pro, go check that out, and we're going to be able to really take a look. Around 11 to noon is when these giants are going to be stepping on stage.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
guys, thank you so much. We got Chris Psycho Lewis, we got Andrew Jack, Hany Rambod, and that's the truth.